Now, before we actually hop into this first game against the Padres, we do actually have a few things to go over, and the first one of those being that the National League West is actually a pretty tight race this year at the top. 4 pretty solid teams. We, of course, are at the top of the division as right now. The Padres are only 1 game back, so the series we're to play with them is a huge series. The Rockies are also only a game and a half out, while the Dodgers, they're 5.5 out, but that is by no means far back at this point in the season, while the Diamondbacks, of course, remain garbage. Big reason why the Padres have been so good is because Manny Machado leads the National League in hits. He is tied with 4 other players in the National League for the home run lead, and he also has the second highest OPS in the National League. We also unfortunately had an injury to one of our players who was on the 40-man, currently in AAA. He is no longer on the 40-man because he has been placed on the 60-day IL with a torn finger ligament. So Logan Webb has unfortunately been shut down for a decent amount of time. San Francisco Giants, San Diego Padres here at Petco Park. Teams atop the NL West battle it out. Joey Lucchesi, the lefty, getting a start for the Padres, his 9th of the season, and he will be opposed by another lefty in Robbie Ray, also making his 9th start of the season for the Giants. Take a look at their lineup 1-2-9 on the day, as well as the opposing Padres lineup with the former Giant Buster Posey in there. So bottom half of the first inning, it is Luis Urias leading off the game at least for the Padres, into the left center field gap, hits off the bottom of the wall, ricochets over to the former Padre of Margot, and he whips it into the cutoff man. Travis Swaggerty then grounds out to second base. Runner moves up to third, brings up the dangerous Manny Machado, who pops one up to the infield. Peter Mooney, can of corn for him on the infield grass. 2 down now, runner on third, brings up Franmil Reyes, who absolutely crushes one to left field. A no-doubt shot for the Franimal. 2-0 Padres lead. Remind me again why this man's not in the home run derby in real life. So 2-0 lead. They weren't done though. Hunter Renfroe, the other big power hitter for the Padres, also hits a home run. This one almost takes out his own bullpen. It's now a 3-0 lead for the Padres. So bad start for the Giants, but we pick things right back up in the top of the second. Stuart Fairchild unleashes one out to right center field. That's going to be a double for him, so he's in scoring position. Brings up Seth Mejias-Breen, who's also going to hit one out to right center field. Not deep enough, though, but it is going to be deep enough to tag up the runner. So Fairchild moves up to third base. The runner on third. 1 out for Joey Bart. He chops one up the middle. That gets into the outfield. Enough to drive in Fairchild as the Giants start chipping away at the lead. 3-1 is the score. Top of the fourth, pick things back up with Stuart Fairchild. He gets another hit, very similar to the one that Bart hit to drive him in. So a single for Fairchild, then brings up Seth Mejias-Breen, and this time he's actually going to get one into the gap. The Platooners coming up big for the Giants here. There's an RBI double, and the lead is cut down to 1. Brings up Joey Bart to the plate. He'll check his swing on that one, so it's ball 4. Bart takes his base, brings up the 5'6" hit machine, who continues to be a hit machine. Some lefty-on-lefty crime there as he powers that one out to right center field. It's going to clear the bases. A 2 RBI double for Peter Mooney, and the Giants are back on top. Or on top for the first time, I should say. Then Robbie Ray lays down a bunt, moves Mooney over to third base. The runner on third, 2 outs, brings up Elliot Ramos, and he is going to muscle one out to left center field. This one is going to be a long way, and it is deep enough. A 2-run shot for Elliot Ramos makes it a 6-3 lead for the Giants. So they explode in the top of the fourth inning, and they take the lead. So on to the bottom of the fourth now, runner on first, Buster Posey at the plate. He's going to grind into an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play against his former team. Bottom of the fifth now, Eric Hosmer flies out the right for out number 1. Next batter up is the pinch hitter Dom Nunez, goes down looking on the up-and-in fastball. And then the final out of the inning would be Urias popping one up to shallow left center field as the former Padre puts it away in Margot, as Ray would calm down and get through 5 innings in this game. On to the bottom of the 6th, where Josh James comes on, trying to keep the score where it is, and predictably doesn't do well at that job. So he gives up a double here to Travis Swaggerty. He's on second base in scoring position. And then it comes up to Manny Machado, who just barely gets a ball to land in fair territory down the right field line. That's an RBI double. They are trading places out there at second base. So it's a 6-4 game now, brings up Franmil, and I mean, put the guy in the home run derby. What are you doing, MLB? Another 2-run shot for Franmil Reyes, and this one ties the game up at 6. So just like that, the lead has been blown. Jason Tuttman then comes on to relieve Josh James. First batter he's facing, Hunter Renfroe. Way inside fastball that Renfroe stupidly swings at. After that, it's Wilmer Flores to the plate, and he's going to get a high pitch that he's not able to do anything with, just pops it up to deep center field. Margot, can of corn for him out there, and then for the third at would be Buster Posey grounding out to Gallo at third base, so 3 quick outs for Tuttman. Top of the 7th now, and Trey Wingenter comes on for the Padres with 2 outs in the inning facing Joey Gallo. 2-2 count, absolutely destroyed. Right field seats, that's the destination for Joey Gallo. A no-doubt home run puts the Giants back on top. Raisel Iglesias comes on in the 8th after Tuttman worked another scoreless 7th inning. And in the bottom of the 8th, here would be Elliot Ramos making a diving catch out in right field to rob Manny Machado of a base hit. Almost a bloop single, but Ramos had other ideas. Take another look at this one. Beautiful play by Ramos. Then the man with 2 home runs in the day comes up, and Franmil goes down swinging, this time on the slider, so 2 down in the inning. Then with a runner on first after a walk, it would be a ground at the second base. Mooney flips to short, and they get out of the inning. The 9th, of course, belongs to Reyes Moranza, comes on looking for the save. First batter up is Will Myers. He's going to power one out to left field over the head of Jock Peterson, who came on to pinch hit earlier in the game and stayed in left field to replace Fairchild. Could not get to that ball, so Myers on second in scoring position, 1 out, as then a ground ball gets past the diving glove of Mooney. They do not test the arm of Ramos and right, so runners on the corners, brings up Urias, lays down the suicide squeeze, and the tying run comes in. It's now a 7-7 ball game with 2 outs, runner on second. Moranza then strikes out Swaggerty to send this game to extra innings. So 7-7 game, we move on to the top of the 11th where Robbie Erlin comes on for the Padres. Joey Bart, first pitch he sees from Erlin, takes it to center field for a base knock, so he's on first. Next batter up is Peter Mooney. Ground ball to second base, they try to turn 2 with it. Throw pulls the shortstop off the bag, and they can't get the runner at first, so it's everybody is safe, and then Jock Peterson. Some lefty-on-lefty crime. The man's got like 42 power against lefties, and somehow just barely gets this one out of the park as Jock Peterson delivers yet again. 14th home run of the season, makes it a 10-7 game. The Giants would end up tacking on one more, as your final score in this one is 11-7. Giants on top over the San Diego Padres here in this NL West battle that went into extra innings. Jock Peterson, despite not getting the start, does get Player of the Game honors. He was 2 for 3 on the day with a home run and a double. Peter Mooney had 2 hits as well, so did Joey Gallo and Stuart Fairchild. Franmil Reyes' day, where he went 3 for 5 with 2 home runs and 4 runs driven in, just did not matter as the Padres pitching just could not get it done. So take another look at the standings now that we're later on in the month with a series of the Rockies upon us. We remain at the top of the National League West, and then right behind us are those Colorado Rockies, 2 games back. Padres are now in 3rd, 4 games back, while the Dodgers have been struggling a bit, so they're 8.5 games back in 4th place. If you take a look at the calendar, you can see that we've been playing very well in the month of May. We swept the Padres in a 3-game series at home, and then also in that 2-game set in San Diego that I showed off in the previous game. Big reason why the Padres are currently in 3rd place and not behind us, which is where the Rockies are. And you can also see that we are currently 9-1 in our last 10, as we are about to take on the Rockies, who are also 9-1 in their last 10. They will be without Tyler Nevin. He has broken his ankle. He will not be playing. And then, of course, we had another AAA pitcher get hurt. Corey Abbott tore his Achilles tendon. He will be out for 5 to 6 months. He was the second piece that came over in the Brandon Beachy to the Cubs trade, where we got Braylon Marquez. And Corey Abbott's been in AAA. He's been a pretty good pitcher. He just keeps getting hurt. And torn Achilles tendon, definitely not a good injury to get. We also made a couple roster moves, as they are unrelated to the AAA injuries because they're AAA injuries, but Tyler Beede and Braylon Marquez are both now in the Major League bullpen in their long reliever spots. Josh James was sent down to AAA. He cleared waivers. Nobody wanted to claim him once again. He performed poorly in the big leagues, and he's now down to AAA working on his craft yet again. TJ Trejo also sent down. Bit of a shocking one. He was still striking out a ton of batters. He was just giving up a lot of runs as well, so hopefully he can work on a few things, come back up later on in the season. I would 1,000% expect him to be back at some point in this season. Also, Dylan Bundy, if you take a look at the league leaders, is still the National League's ERA leader at a 1.18 ERA through 53 and the third innings pitched. He has been fantastic off of his torn labrum that he suffered last year. And I've seen a few comments, people wondering what my plan with Tyler Skaggs is, if I'm going to, for some reason, make him a 0 overall, if I'm going to make him a 90A potential for whatever reason. I don't have any plans to do anything with him. He's just going to remain in the game as it is, and the series will play on as it's been playing on. He is in the last year of his deal, and I wasn't planning on bringing him back in the offseason anyways, so he'll be with a different team next season for Season 5 of this franchise, but for now, he will be on our team, and we're going to hopefully make another deep playoff run with him in our rotation. Giants back home in San Fran here at Oracle Park, play and host of the Colorado Rockies. Two teams atop the NL West. Rockies sending out Antonio Senzatella for the 10th time this season, and then Dylan Bundy, the National League's ERA leader, coming to the mound for the 10th time this season as well. Start things off, top half of the second inning, it's going to be Garrett Hampson drawing himself a walk. He's got speed over on first base, but he's not swiping here. Nick Tanlio strikes out for the first out, but then Hampson would be showing off his speed after that as he goes down, swipes second base, slides in feet first. He's in scoring position as then Tony Wolters would strike out, so 2 down, runner in scoring position now brings up Rene Herman, and they would not be able to drive in Hampson as Herman pops one up to center field, and it's a scoreless top of the second inning for Bundy. Bottom of the second now, Joey Gallo at the plate. He's going to rip one into right center field. That's off the brick in right center, and he's going to have himself an easy double. So the power-hitting third baseman in scoring position brings up Gilberto Fuentes, hits the ball to left field. Didn't know if it was going to land, so Gallo was about halfway, decided to go back to second, dives in. So first and second now, brings up the on-fire Elliot Ramos. He won't be able to do anything here, though, but he does get it deep enough to where that's going to be able to tag up Gallo from second. So runners on the corners now for the Giants with 1 out. As then Fuentes would go and swipe second base as Wolters could not hold on to the ball on the transfer. So second and third brings up Joey Bart, hits a ball at the left field that somehow they didn't know if it was going to land, so the runners stayed put, and then everybody's only able to move up one base, and Bart is actually caught on the back end of this as he should have had a double, but decided too late to go, so it's only a 1-0 game. Runner on third, 2 outs. Peter Mooney then hits one into right center field. That's Triple's alley, and you know what happens here. He's got some speed, some fleet feet, as Peter Mooney, RBI a triple, makes it a 2-0 lead for the Giants. They somehow only get 2 runs in that inning. Top of the third now, Bundy strikes out Senzatella. Next batter up is the leadoff man, Tommy Pham. He's also going down on a curveball. And then for the third out, it would be Brendan Rodgers grounding out to Joey Gallo over at third base. So 2-0 lead for the Giants. Still, as we move on to the top of the fourth, Arenado ground ball over to third. Great snag from Joey Gallo from foul territory. Fires across the diamond with his rocket of an arm. And then with 1 out, brings up David Dahl. He muscles one out to left center field. This one's going to get down on the track, bounce up off the wall. Easy double for the fleet-footed Dahl. He's in scoring position, brings up Garrett Hampson. He's going to sneak one through the left side of the infield. They do not test the arm of Peterson, so it's runners on the corners, 1 out for Tanliu. Hits a ball to deep left field. Peterson ranging back. He's going to make the catch, but the fleet-footed Dahl is able to tag up and make it a 2-1 game. Bundy would be able to get out of the inning after getting Tony Wolters to pop up to right field for the third out of the inning, so it's a 2-1 ball game now, bottom of the fourth, where Elliot Ramos is going to chop one up the middle, past the glove of the shortstop, so base knock for Ramos. Then with 2 outs, brings up Peter Mooney, and the 5'6" hit machine is sending one out into the water. Hello, McCovey's Cove. Who would have ever thought a 5'6" man's gonna hit one out there? A 2-run shot makes it a 4-1 game. Ryan Castellani comes on in the 5th inning for the Rockies. Facing Javi Baez here, powers one at the left field. The leap from Dahl, and he brings it back in the ballpark. Absolutely robs Javi Baez of a home run, and the runners caught on the base paths. Taking a look at this one, ranges back to the wall, gives it a leap, brings it back into the park. What a play by David Dahl, literally taking a home run away from Javi Baez. So 4-1 game, move things on to the bottom of the 6th, where Elliot Ramos is going to get another ground ball single. After that, it brings up Joey Bart. Could not hold up on that pitch, but it does get away from Walters, allows the runner to move up to second base, and then Bart would go into center field. This one, that lands Ramos. Rounding third, heading home, the throw to the plate from Pham is cut off. It's now a 5-1 game. Tyler Beede comes on for the 7th inning, gets 2 quick outs, but then after that, he would get some trouble with Blackman, walks him, and then with 2 outs, he would walk Tommy Pham. So it's runners on first and second with 2 outs, but then Rogers would go down on a curveball, so Beede does get out of it. 5-1 score remains into the 9th inning, where Jason Tutman comes on in a non-save situation. 1 down. Here's Rene Herman. Line drive, absolute rocket at Joey Gallo. Somehow makes this play. Scary. He was playing in, had to respect the bunt from Herman, and then Tutman strikes out Tommy Pham for the 3rd out, as the Giants win this game over the Colorado Rockies, as they separate themselves even more from the Rockies for first place in the National League West. Peter Mooney 2 for 3 on the day with a home run and a triple, 3 runs driven in. Gilberto Fuentes and Elliot Ramos both had 2-hit days. Dylan Bundy continues pitching well in the season, 6 innings strong, 6 strikeouts, only gave up 3 hits and 1 earned run in this 5-1 victory for the San Francisco Giants. Now, before we actually hop into the 3rd and final game of the episode, we do actually have a trade to go over, and that is because I finally pulled the trigger on trading Aaron Altair. We have sent him to the Philadelphia Phillies for a 2nd stint over there in Philadelphia, and in return, we get 2 relievers in left-hander Austin Davis and right-hander Yaxel Rios. We know that Aaron Altair has been a solid center fielder for us. We upgraded in center field with Margot this offseason, obviously, and the plan was for Altair to be the 4th outfielder, but he just has not been working as a bench piece this year, so Altair going to the Phillies, who need an outfielder, more specifically a left fielder, as Nick Williams has been not good for them, and he is a lower overall than Altair. Altair is also on the last year of his deal, and he is only a C potential, so his trade value is very limited, and as a result of that, we only got a couple relievers back, and these are relievers who, they're not the youngest guys out there, but I definitely want them to be in our organization for at least a few seasons. So this isn't just a trade where we're doing like a swap of like one guy who's going to be gone at the end of the year for another guy who's going to be gone at the end of the year. This is a trade where we're getting some bullpen depth to hopefully take over some spots in the bullpen, or at least being like guys who are going to get called up and down once we lose some of our pitchers next season heading into the offseason. So the first one is a lefty, Austin Davis. He has not pitched in the big league since 2018. He's just been getting sent down every single year at the start of spring training. As a result of that, he has no more options left, so he will be on our Major League roster, and if we want to send him down, he will have to be clearing waivers, which, if a guy like Josh James clears waivers, Austin Davis is probably going to end up clearing waivers. While Yaxel Rios is not even on the Philadelphia 40-man, he also hasn't pitched in the big league since 2018 as well. He has all 3 options available because of that. So like I said, neither of these guys are the youngest pitchers, but I would like to get a few years out of them as decent bullpen pieces, maybe shuffling in between major leagues and AAA, or maybe just being decent minor relief pieces for us. And as a result of the trade, we obviously made a couple roster moves. Like I mentioned, Austin Davis will be in our Major League bullpen at the moment. He is going to be wearing number 77 for us because his number 54 that he was wearing with the Phillies is currently Reyes Moranta's number, and I'm obviously not going to strip Reyes Moranta of his number, so Austin Davis will be wearing number 77 because that was what he wore when he pitched at Cal State Bakersfield in college. And to open up a spot in the bullpen, Tyler Beede, who has already had his option used this year so he can just come up and down freely, has been sent back down to AAA, while Lorenzo Ordonez has been called up from AAA to take over Altair's spot on the roster. Oriole Park at Camden Yards for some interleague action, Giants and Orioles, and we've got a throwback, and I mean a throwback game. The St. Louis Browns unis being rocked by Cal Quantrill, making the start for the Orioles, and then the New York Giants jerseys being rocked by the Giants with Tyler Skaggs on the hill. Take a look at the Giants lineup 1-9, and then of course the opposing Orioles lineup 1-9. Start things off bottom half of the second inning. It's Yusniel Diaz, draws himself a walk to lead off the inning, so he's on first base, brings up Austin Hayes, hits a ground ball to first base. Fuentes had a chance at 2, but he bobbled it a bit, so he's only able to get 1, so runner on second, 1 out. Brings up Cumberland, who pops one up to left center field. That's going to be out number 2. So runner on second base, 2 outs now. Brings up Stevie Wilkerson, hits a ball down the left field line. That's going to land in for a single, and Stevie Wilkerson has himself a 2-out RBI double, 1-0 lead for Baltimore. And then Skaggs would get out of the inning by getting Andy Yerzy, not from Jersey, to pop up to right center field as Margot puts it away on the fly. So top of the third inning now, Chase Numata catching on the day for the starter Joey Bart, who's getting a rest day. He's got some speed here as he slaps that one in the left center field, stretches it for a double, and then Margot would unfortunately not be able to drive him in as he pops one to center field. So still a 1-0 game. As we move on to the bottom of the third, where Kyle Schwarber comes on with 2 outs, and he keeps the inning alive by going against the shift. This one's going to get to the bottom of the wall, bounce off the wall, ricochet over to Lorenzo Ordonez, gets it into the cutoff man, easy double for Schwarber. And then Stewart comes to the plate, hits a ball down the third base line past the glove of Gallo, and that's going to be an RBI single as the Baltimore Orioles extend their lead to 2-0 here. But then in the top of the fourth, Joey Gallo cuts it in half with 1 swing of the bat. Some Oppo-Popo from Joey Gallo makes it a 2-1 ball game. Another no-doubt home run off the bat of Gallo. On to the bottom of the fifth here, Jonathan Villar hits one past the diving glove of Gallo at third base, and he's got some fleet feet, and he's going to go and show that off. Richie Martin comes to the plate. First pitch to him, Villar swipes second. Next pitch of the AB, Villar is going to go and swipe third base. So runner on third with 1 out. Richie Martin, not the greatest bat, is then going to chop one into the shifted infield as that's going to be right at them. Runner does not come in, but then Kyle Schwarber with a chance to put the Orioles up even more, hits a ball to deep right center field, but Margot is positioned right at the wall. He grabs it for out number 3. Still a 2-1 game as we move on to the bottom of the 7th. Austin Davis, making his first big league appearance since 2018, gets a pop-up here from Brett Cumberland for the first out. Next batter up would be Stevie Wilkerson, who's going to softly hit one past Peter Mooney at second base. That's going to get into the outfield for a base knock, and then Wilkerson is going to go and swipe second base. Numata not doing the best job of controlling the run game in this one. So runner in scoring position, 1 out. Andy Yerzy, not from Jersey, then swings through strike number 3. So 2 down, brings up Jonathan Villar, who's going to bloop one into right field. That's going to score the runner as Ramos's throw was way offline. It would have been in time if he could have just gotten that to home plate. So a run does come in to make it 3-1. Next batter, Martin, then grounds out to end the inning. Paul Fry, the lefty, comes on for the Orioles in the 8th inning, facing Stuart Fairchild, who comes on to pinch hit. Facing the lefty, 2 outs, and he's able to bloop one into center field. Hayes gives it a dive, but he's not able to make it. He's not able to make the play. Fairchild thought about 2, but he holds up at 1. Then it brings up Javi Baez. He is also going to bloop one into left center field, and that is going to be a single for him. Fairchild goes first to third with some aggressive base running, and that brings up the big bat of Joey Gallo. 2 down, runners on the corners, and Gallo pops one up to center field. Hayes makes the catch. Can of corn for him. It's still a 3-1 lead for the O's. Tanner Scott comes on to face his former team in the bottom half of the 8th. And the first batter up is Kyle Schwarber, who delivers with a towering fly ball to right field. This one's going to die out at the wall, though. Hits off the top of the wall. Double for Schwarber. Immediately in scoring position, Stewart then comes to the plate, chops the ball over to first base. That's going to be an out for him, but the runner does move up to third. So runner on third, 1 out for Yusniel Diaz. Fly out to right field. or at least should have been a flyout, as Ramos was there in position to make the diving play, but he could not snag it as the run does come in, make it a 4-1 Baltimore game. And now we move on to the 9th inning, where the Orioles bring on their closer, Michael Fuentes, facing Gilberto Fuentes, and we've got some Fuentes on Fuentes crying. The first pitch he throws, Gilberto sends it out to right center field. That's going to be an easy double for Gilberto off of Michael. So then Elliot Ramos comes to the plate, ball gets away from the catcher Cumberland, and Fuentes with an aggressive base running gets into third base. Ramos is then able to sneak one over to shortstop that Martin is not able to handle, so it's an error on the shortstop. It's now a 4-2 ball game as the runner comes in to score. Peter Mooney flies out to left field here as Kyle Schwarber makes the diving catch, robbing Mooney of what could have moved the next runner up to third base. Taking a look at this one, Schwarber, beautiful, laying all out for it, sacrificing the body. So still 4-2 here. Lorenzo Ordonez gets the green light on 3-0, and he's just able to pop it up the center field. So the last hope is Joey Bart, who comes on to pinch hit. He jumps on the first pitch, and he's not able to do anything as he grounds out over to second base as the Baltimore Orioles come away with the win here over the San Francisco Giants, and a little bit of an upset in this interleague matchup. Cal Quantrill was fantastic on the hill as he completely shut down this Giants lineup. 6 innings strong, only gave up 4 hits, only struck out 3, but he was only able to give up 1 run while walking nobody. Just a lot of soft contact from Quantrill on the day. While Stevie Wilkerson had 2 hits, Kyle Schwarber had 2 hits, and Jonathan Villar also had 2 hits for the Orioles in their 4-2 win over the Giants. And with that being said, that is going to wrap things up here for this edition of the San Francisco Giants franchise. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I am saying, it is too goddamn humid